Hello and welcome to the HubNut 2 channel. This is a spin-off from the main HubNut channel. This is where I'm going to talk about whatever takes my fancy, not just car stuff. Obviously cars are a huge part of my life, as you can see by the background, but they're not exclusively, they're not all of my life. But it's also a chance for me to talk a bit more about how I make the videos. And one of those key ones is kit. And it comes up a lot. I'm currently recording this on my DJI Osmo Action Camera. And I'm using the Rode wireless kit for wireless sound, so I'm not connected to the camera. I enjoy the freedom. They're pretty good. They're not brilliant. They're pretty good, a wireless solution. So I thought I'd talk a bit more about the kit I use, what's good, what's bad, and why the perfect camera does not exist for vlogging. I'm yet to find it. I built up the HubNut channel just using phones, and the power of phones is quite extraordinary. They have very good cameras. They're pretty good at capturing sound unless you're outside and it's windy. And of course, convenience, there's no beating a mobile phone. One of those key convenience features is the fact that it always tends to be in your pocket. I usually keep mine fairly well charged, but I can charge it up while recording if I've somehow let it run low. Another camera I use a fair bit is this Canon M50, and this gives very professional looking results, I think, and you got the benefit of actually having some zoom, which neither the action camera nor most phones, some phones these days do have decent zooms, usually optical, digital rather than optical, but you can't beat an actual optical zoom, and I quite like that. So much better picture quality. But this particular Canon, the M50 EOS, you can't charge while you're using it. It uses bespoke batteries that aren't shared with very much else, and I've currently lost the charger, so I can't actually charge the battery. But it's that inability to charge while you're using it, and this also gives very poor warning of battery degradation. It's got fully charged, then it'll jump down to about half charge, but really that means you've not got very long left, and then all of a sudden it's red, it's flashing, it's gone off. And that's very irritating when you're in the middle of recording something. So you have to demount it from the tripod, then you can get the battery out. The batteries are out because they're flat at the moment. So I like the results, but I don't like the user experience. Something else I don't like the user experience on. I recently purchased this, the DJI Pocket. And you see, yeah, very funky. It looks like it should be really, really good. But in truth, I've barely used it, and nor did the previous owner, Chris Pollitt, and I think I'm starting to see why. It's got some very clever features, face tracking and stuff like that, but if I use an external mic adapter, and it's a different adapter to the DJI Osmo, frustratingly, both absolutely bespoke, you can't really get away with using any other make. I can't then put it on a tripod. So that's a bit limiting. Also, the controls are just really fiddly. I can't find a way of reviewing footage on it to see whether what I shot is okay. So I think it's a camera that maybe has its uses, but I've found absolutely none. You can only adjust one axis at once. You need a separate extension piece for that. This is an optional extra, and you can switch between whether you want it to go that way or that way, and then you switch it and it'll go up and down. So you can't sort of swing through both at the same time. So I just find half the time this isn't actually recording what I want it to be recording, because it's fixated on something else. So very, very clever DJI, but for what I do, absolutely hopeless. Whereas this DJI Osmo Action Camera, I find really good. It is my default camera. It's the one I use most because it is the most simple. It does excellent in-car stability. Unlike a mobile phone, I've never found a way to satisfactorily mount a mobile phone, which is quite a big flappy thing, and not have it shake all over the place. That's why I went to the action camera. I went for the Osmo Action because it's got a selfie screen on the front of it, which is really quite useful. In fact, I'll show you a bit more about that camera right now. Here we go then. I've got the DJI Osmo on a little tripod at the moment, but there you see, there's the selfie screen. I'll try and find what it's looking at. There we go. So I've got face track on the DJI Osmo, so I can, oh, it's lost me already. Oh, there we go, it's found me again. So it's kind of a useful feature, but it's just a bit gimmicky and a bit rubbish, and I'm having to handhold you because there's nothing else to do. It might be useful for going around shows, walking around, but the digital stabilization on this camera is really quite good. So even handheld, this is a pretty decent camera. I've been very impressed with it. Like I said, the only problem is you have to buy this adapter on the side of it. That's an optional extra, so you can use an external mic, just as I had to buy a different external one for this DJI Osmo Pocket. So it's not the perfect camera, and it's got no zoom. I find it's really rubbish doing close-up work. It gets really confused by macro stuff. I don't know how this compares. Can it read that? No, because it's trying to fixate on my face, you see? So there's no one perfect solution for doing this video malarkey, but it's nice to actually be using the DJI Osmo for a change, because I generally don't. For what I do, I'm very vloggy, I'm very spontaneous, I don't have much setup time. I find that the DJI Osmo Action is just great, because you can just hit the record button, it's off straight away, you haven't got to worry. It has improved with the wireless setup. I personally, on the old Rode wireless, I like to run an external mic. I think it just makes for a better sound quality. So I'm actually using a Rode SmartLav mic, which goes through an adapter, and the mic's 3-pole. It's designed for smartphones. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with the sound quality. It clips out a bit at times, especially if I'm driving quite a loud vehicle, and I own 1 or 2 of those. But overall, I think I've been quite pleased with it. It certainly proved much more usable than this pocket camera I'm talking to you on the moment. But if you, or at the moment even, if you've got ideas of cameras, what works for you, then do let me know. I think all of us on YouTube, it's a constant battle, and you have to spend so much money. I mean, this DJI Pocket was 200 quid from Chris, and that included, you know, a fair few gimmicks like the thumb wheel and everything. And you end up having to fork out so much money just to try and get the right kit. And the amount of times things prove unsatisfactory. I mean, this is a key point. This is not a cheap camera, the Canon M50. And really, it's been disappointing. It should be my default camera, but it isn't. Maybe I need a better camera that's got some better stabilization. But, you know, you look at gimbals for actual full-bodied cameras, they are really, really expensive, very bulky. It's all just getting away. I like stuff I can carry in my pocket if need be. And the action camera really does tick an awful lot of boxes, just not all of them. I don't know whether the GoPros, I've never actually used a GoPro. I went for the DJI primarily because of the selfie screen, because it's really important, like now, that I can see what I'm recording, I can see what's in frame. And you don't get that on the GoPros, I don't think. I don't know if they've got a front screen yet. I imagine they've responded to DJI. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on the matter. Anyway, I'm just going to drink some tea. But yeah, overall, yeah, it's just difficult to find the right kit. But don't get too caught up in it. I think a lot of people, they think, oh, I'm going to start a YouTube channel, splash out on a load of kit. And if production values are your thing, and, yeah, and for some people it is. I mean, the main reason to start a YouTube channel is not to make your fortune. It's to make the videos you want to make. And if you want to do really high-end stuff, then by all means buy high-end kit. But if you want to build a following and actually try and make some money at this lark, then you really do have to focus on the content rather than the kit. People are most interested in, you know, can they relate to you? Is what you're saying interesting? And I'm not saying everything I say is interesting, but I seem to have this ability to put stuff into words that people find relaxing to listen to, and that's fine. I don't necessarily care about the content. I think for the most part I'm inoffensive, and I'm happy enough with that tag. So yeah, you just have to make what you want to make. I'm always trying to channel, especially with the road tests, I'm trying to channel old Top Gear, and there's some people who do it better than me, I think, but that's kind of what I'm trying to do. Although my style has evolved somewhat around the one camera scenario. You know, if we're filming Top Gear that have cameras inside the cars, lots of drive-by footage, car to car, I can't do that. I'm on my own for the most part. Occasionally I'll have Miss HubNut with me and she can switch the camera around a bit, and I think it makes for much stronger footage. But if I'm on my own, that sadly isn't an option. So yeah, it's difficult trying to know what works, what doesn't. But regardless of what kit you're using, just make the videos you want to watch. That has always been my aim. I'm not chasing views. I'm not going for massive SEO, search engine optimization on my search terms and stuff. I just make the content I want to own. I'm enthusiastic about that content, and that is what people respond to. They respond to enthusiasm more than anything. And YouTube really does allow you to drill down into your niche. You know, like my videos about this little Invacar. They go down extraordinarily well, perhaps because I love that little car so much. I must point out, for reasons of fairness, there are other cars I love on this fleet very much. I don't want them all falling out. But yeah, there you go. It's just a bit of insight. But that's the first video on this new channel. There will be more of this nature. I'm not sure how frequently. Obviously, the main channel has to be the focus. But yeah, I thought I'd just talk a bit more about the kit, what you should think about if you're starting your own channel, and just some top tips generally. So I hope that's been beneficial. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you in a future video. Farewell. Oh, maybe I'll save the Pachu for the main channel. That seems a good idea.